Eagles Nation, Eagles Universe, Eagles everything. We back in the building. Big win last week. At least one, maybe two gentlemen will possibly be hopping on here in about 15 from that Green Bay game, just to give you the Green Bay side of things. We got a big game this week against the Atlanta Falcons, but truthfully, every game is a big game in the NFL because you only get 17 of them. Uh, Quarterback, we got to talk about a little bit. A little difficulty with turnovers still persistent, so we got to go into that a little bit. So a couple of things to cover. We're gonna go through the power rankings real quick as well for you, just let you know where everybody's staying after week one. Power rankings, I feel like give you a good idea of where individual teams are, right? Because if you were the worst team and you continue to move up, even if you never crack the top 10, you go from 30 to like 12, 15 by the end of the year, you're doing something right. You start off top 10, you end up at the bottom, you may not be doing something right. But go ahead and bring my guy in so we can get started for the day. Y'all know where we go first. We go the same thing every week. Wyatt, what up?
What's going on, cool? What's going on, Eagles Nation? Got enough one dub in the bag. We getting to move on to Monday Night Football here this week. I'm super excited, but we got a lot to talk about, a lot to digest in the show.
We definitely do. So, hey, you know what we start every week? Eagles updates. What you
Yes,
got?
sir. So yeah, I mean, we got some signings and cuts here. We ended up signing wide receiver Danny Gray and AJ Woods, and released Brandon Smith, who was a linebacker, and also wide receiver Griffin Herbert. And that was a couple days ago. As of today, we actually signed safety Caden Stearns and released Jack Stoll, who really just came back recently, I'm pretty sure. So those are some of the signings and cuts that we have, mostly just practice squad stuff, nothing too huge at the moment.
Right, right, right. Um,
Um, Go ahead,
Go
man,
ahead,
if you
sir.
got something.
No, no, no. Go
Oh,
ahead.
yeah. I mean, other than that, Saquon Barkley, as everybody kind of assumed, he won a NFC Player of the Week here this week. He's the only non QB player in the NFL with 3 touchdowns and one in week one. Man, Saquon. I mean, we're gonna get into the actual game and everything, but man, that signing. I mean, everybody assumed that it was going to be really good, but I don't think really anybody kind of predicted the impact that he would have. Week one, especially, we thought he was going to, have a great season, but week one, 3 touchdowns and everything, dude's a monster, especially behind this O line.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We're gonna welcome in Eagles Diva uh to the mix. Diva, what up?
What's going on, y'all?
What up, Diva?
What up?
So yeah,
Love you, boo.
Saquon definitely had a big week, major week, huge week. Definitely saved us. Um, we'll get into the specifics of that here in a few minutes. But one piece of news is, well, a couple of different things. One piece of news though is um, we did have confirmation that moving forward, the starting uh, inside linebacker is going to be N'Kobe Dean,
Mm-hmm.
straight out of the mouth of one Mr. Victor Fangio. So I'm gonna trust that what he says is what it is. He basically said he won it through training camp. I love Vic Fangio's press conferences because I feel like they're real, right?
Mm.
Like I listen to Kellen Moore's, and it feels like it's Sirianni talk at certain points. No, it does. It really does. Like you listen, it's like, oh yeah, we got areas to improve and blase this and blase that, and it's cool. But at the same time, he does have a little accountability. But Fangio, you ask him a question, you getting a real answer. And a lot of time the real answer is we got to play better. Either I didn't call the right play or the players did not execute properly or both. And I appreciate and respect the fact that we getting what's real and not the crap we got last year from everyone. So to me, that's major. We get a real insight into what's going on in the mind of Vic Fangio and not just PR Vic Fangio, but we get the real Vic Fangio. So I like that. I support that. I'm happy that we have that at least on one side of the ball completely. I understand Kellen Moore is in a different predicament because you a lot of the questions that he were asked have been about Jalen Hurts, the turnovers, and blase blase. And there's a certain way you got to approach that because you still got to go out and have your starting quarterback feel like he's that dude. and support him. So there's only so much that you can say. But at the same time, the realism from Vic is very refreshing.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I respect it, and I also respect that he wants to put the best player available out there. He's not just going to just throw someone out there just because of their name or how much they're making on the squad. I mean, he kind of went in depth about. They asked him about Bryce Huff, and he's just said that in order for him to get more playing time, he has to separate himself from everybody else that's on the squad. So I don't know if he just hasn't looked as impressive to him, like through training camp or just in this game. But I mean, it seems like other guys are sticking out more than he is right now, and he's going to put the best players out there that are available.
Right. We got our first comment of the night. Big D in the building. Big D, what up? Big D says Eagles played better than people think. Definitely did, bro. Most definitely did. I was very excited to see what we were able to do. And we're going to, you know what, we might as well go ahead and start getting into the review. In a few minutes, we got one, maybe two gentlemen that Diva invited back last week. We're going to see if they show up. They have the information. It's on them if they coming through or not. They got the info. All right, so review for the Packers game. Y'all know how we do up in here. Before we go over the games, a couple of things we got to do. First thing we got to do, who is y'all elite performer of the game? Offense, defense, special teams. Everybody get one. Diva, who's your performer?
I'm going to go with Quinyon Mitchell.
Okay.
I'm going to defense.
Wyatt, who you got?
I'm going to go with Zach Bond. Dude's a monster out there this week.
Fair enough. Well, since y'all didn't, I'm going to take the easy way out, and I'm going to go with the offensive player of the week, Saquon Barkley.
Oh, we knew you was going the easy way out.
You know what I'm saying? But, you know, because we always have petty people around. A.J. Brown would be my backup if I wasn't picking Saquon because of the big play that he was able to make to help extend the lead and get us in a good position.
Smitty would be my second backup.
Devontae did make some good catches. We did get a couple of solid plays from Dallas Goedert as well. I think the field, Blankenship had the big turnover and then hit Daquan real quick after that. As a little bit of a ode to Rich Homie Quan, who passed away. So RP Rich Homie Quan. A couple of people across college and NFL, well, more than a handful. A good amount were hitting the Quan when they scored, just, you know, kind of for him. Big D says Smitty Bond is who they're going with. I can respect that.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, I mean, you got to highlight people who are game changers. And I think everyone's picks were game changers. But we can't acknowledge that game and not talk about Saquon Barkley. Like, there's no way you can acknowledge that game and not talk about it. The receiving touchdown, the 2 running touchdowns, the 3 touchdowns are the reason we won the game. We don't have Saquon Barkley back there. We don't win the game. And that's why we brought him in. So happy for that. And I'm also happy that, you know, AJ's still eating, Devontae's still getting opportunities. You know, they're trying to incorporate Jahan Dotson into it. Johnny Wilson got about 10 snaps. Shout out to Johnny Wilson, because in college, he didn't block like that, right? Johnny Wilson is a dog blocking, like on the run game when you got him in the game. Shout out to him, because he was blocking like a dog, and I gotta give him props for that, because young guys normally don't do that. He did see some. I think he had about 10 or 12 snaps a game, so you know, big ups to him as well. So a lot of people perform well, but there's another side. Who y'all's weakest link? Diva, who's your weakest link?
I'm going to go with Bryce Huff.
This is a hard question. I might go with the other side. I'll go with Josh Sweat. So I don't take the same answer as Diva.
I'm going to go with Jalen Hurts.
Oh, okay.
We can't have our quarterback 2 interceptions and 2 fumbles. And the only reason the second one got recovered is because Saquon jumped on it. I expect to not be able to put him in this category moving forward. But when you acknowledge the fact that there's 2 turnovers, 2 picks, and 2 fumbles, and then granted, on one of the fumbles, it felt like Cam Jurgens hiked the ball before it was ready, but this is not a one-time thing with QB1. You know, the interception, the second one, AJ Brown did fall down, but at the same time, this is not a one-time thing with QB1. So I just need to clean it up. I believe that he will. I hopefully will never be able to put him in this category again moving forward. But again,
Oh, Big D makes a huge point. I completely forgot about him. Yeah, that would
I
changed my answer. Maddox.
yeah,
Absolutely. They were targeting him. They were
Yeah.
targeting him the whole game.
There was another guy that they targeted too. Nakobe Dean was getting targeted too. And he didn't necessarily play bad, but there were times where they were looking at where's Maddox, where Dean, that's where we're going to try to go. And it was able to work. But at the same time, Dean did make some good plays. He almost had a pick that he dropped. So he made some good plays too, but there were some times where they were kind of, you know, looking for him and Maddox. So I would have to agree on both sides. Big D's definitely correct. I'd have to agree with that as well, because there was defensively a lot of work we need to do, but I think people were out of place, right? Maddox ended up having to go back and play slot. They were putting Mitchell in safety. They were moving people around, so pieces were not necessarily where they had been practicing. And sometimes when it happens, it takes a little time for them to, you know, get that together. I'm not making excuses. I'm just saying, like, that's kind of where I feel like that happened at. But at the same time, it's still based on performance, and Maddox did not perform well.
I mean, either. I feel like as long as that man been on the team, I mean, he really shouldn't have no problem, in my opinion.
Well, it's not necessarily him, but it's, if you notice, we ran a lot of zone. And in a zone, if one person doesn't cover one even small area that they're supposed to cover, it throws everything off. And I feel like I saw a lot of that. Like, you know, CJ had a whiff tackle, but really he had to come out of what would normally be his zone because their zone wasn't being covered properly. So you have things like that happen. I mean, it's first week of the season. They don't play a lot in the preseason. It's going to happen. I just hope we don't continually see it happen. Like, we shouldn't be seeing this week 3, week 4. Hopefully they'll clean it up some by Monday, but we definitely shouldn't be seeing this deep into the season, because that could become a problem. You know, in my opinion. I don't know if you guys agree with that, but that's how I feel about that specific thing. So, had the game. You know, we got the win. So a couple of questions I wanted to ask you guys specifically. So one, the last drive, we get down, we had a fumble, they end up holding and kicking the field goal. How do you guys feel about the field goal versus trying to score the touchdown?
I think he should have went for it. You had Saquon right there. I know you guys want to do the brotherly shove or the tush push or whatever. But with the way the field is and everything, which that's a whole nother conversation. NFL just got to be better about getting these fields right, especially, you know, in neutral locations like this. You need to be better. We can't be having slippery fields out here, which, I mean, I'm not going to make excuses, but that could be a reason why the pass rush really wasn't there, why there was other mistakes happening in coverage. I'm not out here to make excuses, but I mean, it was happening on both sides. You were seeing the Packers slipping, sliding around. Same with the Eagles. I mean, NFL just got to be better about this. But I don't know, man. There's a lot more that can be done here.
All right, dude.
That play calling at the end to me kind of remind us of some play calling we saw last year when we hit the red zone. On a few of those plays, I'm not sure why you didn't use Saquon or even Shipley or even No Gainwell, who actually got a first down. Why didn't you continue to run the ball? And still, again, Jalen had 14 carries. I felt like he was trying to make up for maybe the interceptions in the beginning. But I think still that Saquon, like, your running back should have been used in that position. I felt like we could have scored if we would have kept running the ball like that. We ran the ball the first play, second play, I think he tried to throw it. Same thing with the third play. When you right there, why not punch that ball in, run it down their throats? So I didn't understand the play calling. I felt like if it would have been better play calling, we could have got the touchdown and won the game. which we did, but not off a field goal. Like, what if they would have had? What if we would have left enough time on the clock and then we just score a field goal? You know what I'm saying? Like, to me, that wasn't no good play calling at all. I don't know who that was. I don't know if that was Kellen, if that was Jalen, not all of in the plays when he saw it. But I need more from Jalen. Like, I don't feel like we should see what we saw last year from Jalen. You know, all we kept hearing was, "Oh, Jalen hasn't had an interception in the last 200 yards in training season." And then the first game he get out there and like I don't think he wasn't reading the defense well. Like I don't know what was going on with Jalen, but I can't expect to see that. Like I don't want to see that from Jalen, this being your 4th year with us and the talent that you have, the IQ that you have. You got to do better. Like if you don't feel like what they're calling on the sideline and you right there looking at it, you have to audible those plays. And you have to do what's best in that decision at that time. And I don't feel like he did that. So I wasn't happy that we couldn't score. I mean, you take 7 minutes off the clock and you can't score a touchdown. That's unacceptable to me. In the red zone, it's unacceptable.
Yeah, for some
I'm
reason
gonna
they kept trying to force the pass that whole last drive when you should have been running it the whole time. Like Saquon was running all over these dudes. Why aren't you running it? Take even more time off the clock. But you're sitting here forcing passes.
have to agree with Big D. I want to take the points.
Yeah.
I want to run the clock down and just take the field goal, and I'll tell you why. The reason for me is, yeah, it only put us up 5, and a touchdown would have won the game, but they had to score a touchdown. Now, if we had been in a situation where it was a tie game and we're down there, then in that situation, I think you try to go for it, right? You try to get the touchdown because then you're forcing them to have to score a touchdown to tie the game up. But I think already being up, because I think we were up by 2, if I remember correctly. So kicking the field goal puts us up by 5. Being the only way they can beat us is to actually score a touchdown, and they only had like a minute to do so. But to y'all's point, we could have called better to get there in a way that even kicking the field goal is like 10 seconds left. Excuse me, versus what actually happened. So for me, I always want to take the points in tight games, but I also want to be aggressive in the field so that we're not in tight games. And also to piggyback off Devin, what she was saying about Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts had an interception that got dropped. So he could have had 3 picks in that game.
Good
Right.
D by AJ on that
Yeah.
play.
Yeah.
Facts.
Because without that, I mean, we got to have a lot more consistency. Jalen is on the hot seat to the media. I'm not going to say the Eagles fans, but to media and everybody. And some Eagles fans, the same ones who never wanted him there in the first place. The Wentz Warriors. Y'all still mad if Jalen Hurts is there, not him.
Not the Wentz Warriors.
They Wentz Warriors. But for me, I just say, like, let's give him time. But I think it's fair to criticize each game. So if he comes out and he plays great in week 2 against Atlanta, I ask for the same energy from the media, from the fans has been complaining and all that, the same energy when he does well as when he has a bad game. That's what I asked for.
Well, he didn't really have a bad game. I mean, he had, like, if you look at his stats, he had a good game. It's just in those situations, he's got to make better decisions. And I feel like he should be making those decisions because, as I keep saying, Jalen has a high ball IQ. So that's where I hold him accountable because I feel like you've been playing with us for a while. You have a high ball IQ. You have to put us in better situations because you are the leader. And you can't do that. You can't.
Yeah, I'm not ready to hit the panic button on Jalen as of yet or anything. It just seems like he's just trying to play hero ball at certain times. Like he's trying to make that big play when you should just take what's being given to you. Like you take, I don't know if it's like the run, if you have Saquon running out short. I don't know. It just seemed like, especially that first interception, it just seemed like he was just trying to force a play that wasn't really there at all when he could have just dumped it off to somebody or tried to run or throw it away.
Quarterback draw or anything.
Yeah, and another thing, like you bring up the QB draw, we saw that, which reminded me a lot of last year, which was terrible. It just seems, specifically just watching off the one game, it seems like they're trying to limit him running whenever he's not supposed to for some reason.
Mhm.
Like, it seems like they're trying to make him a pocket passer and then have him only run with these design runs that they have him. It's not like he's just running because there's something there like he used to. I don't know if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
It's just so weird. It could be the field because they were trying to get him. They were getting him every time he tried to roll out to the right or to the left, but it wasn't like it didn't seem natural to him. Like it seemed like whenever he was dropping back, as soon as the pocket collapsed, he was still looking to throw it somewhere instead of just taking off and running. I don't know.
Mhm.
I don't know if they just kind of beat that into his brain to try to throw first instead of running, but it just seemed like he was just being a little like more cautious about running, except for the design QB draws, which I hated, by the way. You have Saquon, you have not so Gainwell, but you have Shipley. Why are you running Jalen Hurts like this
Hurt.
much, especially in
Right.
week one with a terrible field? Like, you shouldn't be doing it.
And then one play that he looked like he was slow to get up, and I'm like, "Oh, Lord, here we go.
Exactly. You
Here
can't
we
be
go."
risking them out here like this week one, especially when you have Saquon here who was running up and down the field, no issues really. I don't know. I feel like the turnovers definitely put a huge blemish on the game. But like Diva was saying, I feel like overall, other than like the turnovers, I feel like he didn't have a bad game. Even if it was just the one turnover, I feel like a lot of people would be kind of saying, "Oh yeah, he did really well." But those two turnovers, yeah, they definitely shouldn't have happened. But it's something that he can clean up. I feel like he was just trying too hard to make those plays on the third down. I mean, the one was like the first drive, maybe the nerves and all that. The second interception, AJ was calling for him, and then he ended up slipping. So I mean, maybe you shouldn't have thrown that anyway. But I mean, it could have been both of their faults at that point. I don't know. I'm not ready to push the panic button on him as of yet. Now, if we're couple weeks into the season deep and he's leading the league in interceptions still, yeah, we got a problem after that. But I mean, it seems like they're putting things out there to combat the blitz. Finally, he's able to do something. He had a high percentage with the blitz. So I'm just glad they're kind of working these things out. They're inserting motion into the offense and everything. I like the way the direction with the offense is going. It's just, it's week one. There's a lot of stuff to clean up here. And I'm sure Jalen, how much of a stickler he is and how much he likes to work. I'm sure he'll clean that up a bit.
Definitely. Philly in the building. Philly, what up?
Philly?
What up, Philly?
So yeah. I mean, I'll just close it out like this. Jalen Carter got a lot of hate for the play that happened with Jordan Love. I'm glad Jordan Love, from the reports, that only miss about 3 to 6 weeks.
Yeah.
I saw a report he's pushing the play this week. Jordan Love, I need you to stop that. Because what you're doing is you're messing up fantasy owners like myself, because they won't put you on, just put you out. They keep putting you as doubtful, which means we can't put you on injured reserve, which means we can't pick up somebody else. So stop it. Sit down. Heal up, bro. Real talk. But now, I think the defense has the most room to grow. I think as they play more together, as this group kind of solidifies, we get Keeley back doing his thing, even though he's not going to be starting. We need all our linebackers playing. We need everybody there ready to go, whether you're a starter, whether you're backup, whatever. And I think they will. I think Huff's going to be better. I think all those guys are going to be better. I believe in the system that Vic has, but I think guys are being asked to do different things. And it does take time for you to make that adjustment. And again, nobody believes in preseason anymore. For the first few games, is really the preseason.
Mm-hmm.
So any last thoughts from either one of y'all on the Packers game before we move on, top this everything else?
No, I see your boys ain't show up though. Talking all that big boy smack. But I don't see them up here.
I mean, as far as defense, I was pretty impressed with how the defense had. I mean, they gave up a couple big plays, but overall, I mean, especially in the red zone, they were holding it down how they needed to.
Yeah, they held it down in the red zone. I'm hoping that pass rush comes together a little bit better. I still see and hear Jordan Davis getting some hate, basically saying that he's not going to be a good pass rusher. He's one dimensional. So I'm hoping that pass rush does, come together, because we do need that pass rush for real.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't look like, just watching the film, it may not look great, but I mean, he was doing what he needed to. Him and Carter, they were holding it down, stopping the run. creating pressure. I mean, we weren't getting big time sacks, but we were generating pressure a lot that game. And I mean, the secondary, we didn't see too much of that donut hole in the middle of the field like we talked about a lot last year. A lot of it was kind of happening on the outsides, but they were holding the middle down pretty well.
Yeah, about time. For real.
And they were tackling too. And it's crazy seeing like these receivers catching the ball, and there's like 3 Eagles there like right away getting this dude. Like, what happened? Like, I'm not used to seeing this kind of defense.
And Quinyon Mitchell did his thing to be a rookie. You don't have too many rookie cornerbacks that come out and really put on a show like that. Like, he had a lot of players locked down besides that one play that he had that rookie mistake. But other than that, yeah, this side locked down.
They thought they were going to come out and target him because he's a rookie. Well, look what happened.
Well, Big D says defense is going to be fire. Completely agree. And he also says, I think Jordan Davis did his job. So
I think Jordan Davis always do his job. I just think people are wanting more or expecting him to do things that it's just not him, and that's okay. But my boy been getting hated since he's been there. So
yeah. I don't think he's a player that's going to be getting big time sacks all the time. He's there to clog up the gaps, stop some runs, try to help the rest of the line create pressure. Yeah,
and that's the thing. Like in the 3-4, your nose tackle's job is to clog up the middle, force people to double team him, make people pay attention to him, to allow your edge rushers, your and your other defenders to be able to hit gaps and make the plays. Like you got people out here in Eagles groups, quoting, Pro Football Focus says, Pro Football Focus only focuses on grading you. They don't use an eye test. They don't say, if Jordan Davis is not there doing that, this is what happens to this team. They're not doing that. So fans, calm down, relax. Trust me when I tell you, Jordan Davis is doing his thing. He's doing exactly what's being asked. He will make some plays, but he's not going to have a season like he would have in a 4-3. That's why we're not in a 4-3. We're asking him to do different things. It's a different defense. It's a different season. But once it comes together, boy, I feel sorry for a lot of teams. And as long as my boy, which I believe he can do, can get those turnovers under control, it's going to be lovely. It's going to be a real lovely season. So good people, we're going to go ahead. We got our last thoughts out. Get us a little quick commercial break in. Then we're going to come back. We're going to top this power rankings. Then we'll preview the next game. The guys were talking real strong last week, right? the Packers fans. I just got a message from one of them talking about, he running late. I'm like, well, bro, we about done now. We ain't gonna sit here and talk about your game for 30 minutes again. Like, the game's over.
Bro, we told you to be early. We told you to be early.
It'll be at 8:45. It's 9 o'clock. Right. Y'all I'm just getting one message. I need to be on like 9:15. Nah, we good about it. So, yeah, we all put in the opportunity to come back home, but I did not expect them to come back on once they lost. They sure was here before when they thought they was going to win based off last year. Living in the past, acting like Cowboys fans. But yeah, we're not there. So that's all I got to say about Green Bay unless we play them again. Congratulations to the guys that played well for Green Bay. Think y'all going to have a good season. Y'all did go sign a veteran, which was a smart move. But hey, you ain't the Eagles, baby. Head to head, we know who won.
Facts.
Great time. Let's go, y'all.
Rams fans all around the world.
It's a beautiful thing to be a Rams fan right now. Stafford's back. We will see about Cup. And running back Kerryon Williams to return.
Lend me your ears, or should I say lend Playmaker your ears, as he breaks down week by week everything in the Los Angeles Rams canon.
Number 99, Aaron Donald. Can't wait for 2029 to come to know that you are going in the Hall of Fame, and it should be first ballot, no questions asked.
Join the Playmaker as he breaks down everything Los Angeles Rams style in Ramily Talk on the Playmakers Blog Network YouTube channel and where you can find podcasts. Oh, yes. The tradition, the pageantry, the spectacle, the history, the slut. Wait. I gotta rep my brother's stuff right. All my DMV soldiers, stand up! And welcome to the Commander's Gridiron Report. You want your Commanders to be repped right? Well, D. Willie is your man. Commander's Gridiron Report. Every Tuesday at 11:05 a.m. Eastern, 10:05 a.m. Central on the Sotoba Media YouTube channel. Music by J. Cool. Join Ryan McCarthy.
I became a Jets fan because Kurt the Frog was my favorite Muppet because he was green, and the Jets wore green. That's how I became a Jets fan.
And Dustin Henry.
ESPN is cashing all in on let's pay a few personalities and we'll just kind of fill in the gaps.
As they walk you through all of the world of sports from their perspective.
The Albany Empire, it's a literal circus.
No credentials required. Where, Ryan, say the tag.
Where you don't need a press pass to talk sports.
Live every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central on YouTube and where you can find podcasts. Drew Willingham.
In this case, yeah, you put the blame on Kyle Shanahan for apparently not preparing the team enough for the overtime rules, supposedly.
Cole Johnson.
Peyton was considered the winner, and he was the darling of all darlings for Gerald.
With a special appearance by Tyrone Alizé McDummy.
Ain't nobody calling me. Text delete.
Join these two football enthusiasts as they give you Total Football Talk. Live every Monday at 4 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Central on the Surtoba Media and the Comey Media YouTube channels.
All right, good people. So we back in the building. So we're going to talk power rankings. So we're going to start at the bottom. We're going to take you all the way up. So we know who the worst team in the NFL is. Like, we know that, right? The worst team in the NFL is the Carolina Panthers. I don't think anybody would disagree with that.
Well,
they're 32.
yeah.
They're going to probably be 32 all season. The best they may do is like 28 if they go on a win streak. This is a bad team.
Very
You can't
bad.
protect your quarterback. You're already thinking about getting rid of your big offseason trade, right? So you just
And we know who the 31 is, too.
Oh, and by the way, the Panthers still owe the Bears their second round pick in the next year's draft. We do know at 31, down one spot from last week, the New York Football Midgets.
Garbage.
Garbage, trash.
Garbage.
Basura.
Hot, juicy
They
trash.
Paid the
You know
wrong
what? There's
dude.
nothing that needs to be added to that. No. Hey, as an Eagles fan, thank you.
Yeah, fact.
But number 30, down one spot from last week, the Las Vegas Raiders. And of course, that's from the preseason poll. Gardner Minshew wasn't bad, had a fumble, right? But
Gardner Minshew doing Gardner Minshew things.
Yeah, it's just not a good team.
He's not a starter.
I mean, if you don't have a quarterback, right? Great backup. If you don't have a quarterback, bro, you in a lot of trouble. Real talk. So another team that caught an L and dropped down a little bit was one of the teams that I think is going to be really good, but for now, they're where they're supposed to be. That's the Washington Commanders. It takes time. Like we're talking about the Eagles, we got the win, so we're talking differently about our team, but it takes time. You know, like Jaden Daniels, he gonna struggle a little bit to start the season. Everybody does. There's no quarterback that hits the ground running. It wasn't even done last year by the rookie of the year. Nobody just hits the ground running. It takes you a couple of games, to get the feel. But he had a better game than Bo Nix, and he had a better game than Caleb Williams. And don't debate me, debate your mama, or if she's no longer with us, your favorite auntie, because it's a wrap. I mean, Commanders are commandering the down 3 spots, but they'll do better. I think by the time the year is over, but you can only judge them on what they've done so far.
Right.
And speaking of 42 completions and 100 and some yards, 130 or 140 yards for Mr. Bo Nix. Broncos down 1 spot this week to 28 from 29 last week. From 27 last week. Denver Broncos, hard game, hard franchise. I do a show on Sunday mornings, the NFL pregame report. And we have a Broncos fan that said in the first episode before the season started, the Broncos were going to win a division. The way the Broncos looking now, they're even going to win games. So we're going to see. Again, it's still early, but this don't look good.
Not at all.
And I'm going to tell you what's funny. The first winner that we have, the New England Patriots, they up 4 spots to 27.
They surprise a lot of people.
Surprised me. They won a game.
Yeah,
no shade.
They won, but the Bengals, man, they been suspect though.
Well, you gotta. So, y'all know I'm a Patriots hater, right? I ain't gonna try to pretend there's any other way. But taking the hater hat off for a minute, you didn't have T. Higgins at all. Makes a big difference in how they played the Bengals. You had Chase for minimal snaps. You take both of those weapons away. Joe Cool is acting more like Cody Rhodes now, or actually more Anakin Skywalker. So it is what it is. Maybe they get everybody back. Maybe they look better. Maybe they don't.
Not as long as that O-line stinking it up.
The
they do
O-line
nothing for this O-line, like year in and year out.
Nothing. O-line has been garbage.
Hot for years.
Hot. Juicy. Garbage.
That's why Joe Burrow always hurt.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And if they had brought in a line a couple years ago, they would have won the Super Bowl instead of the Rams.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what? You can't win if you can't protect your quarterback so he can throw the ball to wide open players. Just saying. All right, moving on to 26, down 1 spot from last week at 0-1 as well. The Tennessee Titans. They went up 17-0, and the Titans started tightening.
You had it in your hands. Like it was an easy dub. You were up 17-0.
It's like, wait a minute, we're the Titans, bro. What are we doing? Trying to win games and stuff.
We're not supposed to be winning.
Winning. Hey, play Titan football. I got you. That gets you an L. Arizona Cardinals at 25, down a spot.
It was up too.
Yep.
But they
How you not going to get the ball to Marvin Harrison Jr.?
3 targets for Marvin Harrison Jr. 3 targets. That's what happened when you got a toddler back there. He can't see. He's running for his life.
Thinking about playing Call of Duty when he gets home.
You know what I'm saying? Call of Duty and get him a fruit snack and a juice after they get off the field.
But Jonathan Gannon is still their coach, so he probably called some dumb plays on top of that.
True.
That's what Jonathan Gannon doing. I can't stand that dude, bro.
I mean, Kyler has like no accountability either. They had that quote he said today about getting Marvin Harrison more like targets or whatever. He's like, that's not my job. That's the OC's job. He's like, bro, you the quarterback.
Right, you the quarterback. We probably can't even see him though. He probably can't even see him to get him any targets. So what you expect?
If I was a Cardinals fan, I'd be pissed.
See him.
He ready for his juicy cup. He ready for his big boy cup and his fruit snack. That's all he worry about. He ain't worried about getting nobody no routes.
They have a booster seat for him on the bench.
Probably so. I'm sure he had to go potty at times.
Platforms or something. They need to give him some special kind of cleats so he can see.
They might even put him in timeout. That might be probably.
I joke, but he's probably like as tall as I am, so I shouldn't be saying anything.
Man, no, I think you're taller than he is.
I don't know.
Without the hair, we can't count the hair. Just him. We can't count the hair.
Okay.
Yeah, his hair is his hair. You cut that off. I'm talking about him. If you notice, our shorter quarterbacks, we try to grow froze. It's like, bro, you still short. We're not measuring your hair. We measure your head. Yeah, we measure your head, not your hair. We know how to do it. All right, at 24, the New Orleans Saints up 4 spots. All I'm gonna say about the Saints is this: you beat the worst team in the NFL, you move up 4 spots. I ain't even mad at you, but now you gotta play real teams.
Yeah,
That's all I'm saying.
You did what you were supposed to do. Congratulations.
Right.
We'll see what Derek Carr do. He might be in a better position with them than he was with the Raiders.
Yeah.
He won't last you.
I'm glad I picked that defense up though this past week. I saw them playing Carolina. I was like, yeah, I need some of that.
That's a smart move. I mean, if you don't have a defense and you play fantasy football, that's what I'm gonna tell you. Every week that you can, just pick whoever the Panthers are playing.
As long as it ain't the Panthers defense, you're gonna be all right. Because if you pick that defense or the offense, you're in trouble. Trouble.
Pick whoever they're playing.
Trouble.
At 23, the Atlanta Falcons down 4 spots.
Old Kirk Cousins get put on his back.
Well, they pressured Kirk Cousins like it wasn't. You can listen.
And this one even a primetime game.
Right. Right.
Isn't gonna happen in prime time.
But he getting old though. Kirk Cousins been in the league for a minute, man. That man was standing there like a statue last week.
All I know is, Kurt, I need you to come alive and put up some stats. You ain't got to win games, but I went with a different strategy in fantasy this year. So I just need you to put up like 200, couple touchdowns this week, but lose the game.
No, not this week. Sorry, next week.
Sorry, bro. 202 touchdowns. 202 touchdowns. If we can't score over 14 points, we deserve to lose anyway. So 200 yards and 2 touchdowns, or 250, but just no more than 2 touchdowns. We're good.
That boy ain't about to get 2 touchdowns. Boy gonna get 1, if that. Gonna get picked off.
I mean, he's gonna get picked off. That's why I need more yards and a couple of touchdowns because I'm lose some points from that pick.
Well, listen, ain't nobody tell you to pick up Kirk Cousins. That's your fault.
It's not my fault. Everybody else was grabbing quarterbacks, and my draft.
This wasn't the NFL, was it?
Nope.
Oh, okay, because they got over on us.
Yep. NFL did us wrong, but it's all good. Started the draft 30 minutes before.
Joe did.
And I normally be on 30 minutes before anyway, like to see where I'm at. But I was just getting off another draft. So all good though. But yeah, Falcons. Y'all gonna move down next week. All right. At 22, down the spot as well, the Indianapolis Colts. Anthony Richardson, all these highlights and all great and everything. He had a 60-yard bomb to Alec Pierce, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was a really good throw, but you completed 9 throws. So 8 other throws the whole game. Ran a touchdown late too, but threw a pick in the red zone. Anthony Richardson is who I said he was. He is who I thought he was. And if you don't like it, you know what to do. But yeah, Anthony Richardson, all I can say is I think improvement will happen over time. But I just want people to understand, don't praise these dudes before they've done anything and before you see them really be impressive. Because it's too much, a guy goes out, looks good in the preseason, he looks good in the offseason, team talks him up, then all of a sudden we're trying to make him a top 10 quarterback. We can't do that, y'all. Just stop it. Stop it. Get some help. Like Michael Jordan said, stop it. Get some help. All right. 21 Seattle Seahawks. Up a spot. Gotta win. They won a game. There's not much more to say. They played the Broncos. So I'm not gonna sit here and gush and talk about stats and who did what. You played the Broncos. It's like playing the Panthers.
Yeah.
Right.
You did what you're supposed to do. We're not gonna sit up and praise you for doing what you're supposed to do. All right, at 20, up 3 spots. Sammy Darnold and the Minnesota Vikings. This, along with the Patriots, is the 2 surprises for me for the week. Right?
Yeah.
Sam Darnold has never been a good quarterback, but he looked good. He did. Aaron Jones, solid. And hey, you were playing the Giants though, so again, we're not gonna sit here and call you the greatest thing on turf for beating the Giants.
Yeah. We'll have to see what happens when they play decent teams.
Yeah. Yeah, you can still do it, right? You can still show, hey, we nice, but
you never know.
Beating the Giants and Broncos and the Panthers and teams like that, you're not getting no love over here. Yeah. I like how you split that one in. I like how you slide that in there. I like how you slide it in there. I love that. All right, number 19, we got the Jacksonville Jaguars. They're down 2 spots. They were never going to beat the Dolphins.
No.
They were never going to beat the Dolphins. They were up early too, but they were never going to beat the Dolphins. When a man like Tyreek Hill get arrested, he going to show out. You know what I'm saying?
Waddle showed out too.
Like, oh, he going to go off today.
Yeah, you put him in handcuffs, he going off. Waddle did have a good game as well, Diva. And that's the danger with Tua.
Mm-hmm.
That's the danger. Both of them are going to get off at some point. What you would rather have is Hill plodding down the field. Because if Waddle was getting his, he'll only need about 3 catches to get 150 yards. So if you can't stop either one, you can't beat them. Right at 18, down 4 spots, the Cleveland Browns. Y'all got to lay off my boy Deshaun Watson. Like, real talk. Like, y'all got to lay off my boy Deshaun. I'm not saying that Deshaun played well, but coming off with another injury from last year, get a man some time. If he's still looking like this week, 4-5 and stuff, yeah, this box pass too. But you get this man 3, 4, 5 weeks. If he's still not showing any improvement, yeah, it's time to start talking about it. And y'all need to stop with this narrative in the preseason that he don't want to play football. That man got 240 million reasons to want to play football. Stop it. And get yourself some help too. Stop it.
It's because you can't get those massages anymore to get loose.
Stupid.
Hey, you take away a man's massages, man. That's a tough thing. It's a tough thing. You know what I'm saying? It's a tough thing. All right, number 17, up 1 spot, the Pittsburgh Steelers. So, Pittsburgh. Think
somehow
Russell
find a way to
Wilson's
win.
quad and calf, because without those failing you, you don't beat Atlanta. Justin Fields was running that ball. He was planting his foot and being decisive. We didn't see this Justin Fields all in Chicago, and you want to say, oh, but it was against Atlanta. But Atlanta went out and upgraded their defense quite a bit, and they already had a pretty solid defense. So doing it against a good defense, even though the offense is still is impressive, versus doing it against offense and defense. Just saying. So I give him a little props for that. Still got to see more, but I at least give him some starter props for that.
Yeah, it's something to build off of for him.
Yep.
Well, they knew they had a better chance than with Russell Wilson. Russell.
Dude was inactive and still in pads. Put me in, coach. Mr. Unlimited.
No, we ain't pulling with no Russell. Nope.
You inactive. What are you doing? I'm ready to go in, coach.
You must have retired. It's over for Russell. Russell.
Oh,
Russell gonna be that daddy and let's Sierra gonna get that money because you ain't it, bro.
Maybe he'll be good at commentary. He might.
He need to do something because it ain't it.
He can help Tom out. Tom needs some help
Yeah.
up there in the booth.
Yeah.
Y'all wrong. Y'all are
I'm
some
just
smart
saying.
people.
I'm just saying.
Honest people. At 16, we got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers up 4 spots. We figured Baker Mayfield was gonna come out and kind of build on what he's been doing, and he did. So that's what's up. I ain't even gonna handle it. That's what's up.
Yeah. As much as I don't like the Bucks for personal reasons due to being Eagles fans, they look decent. They building off of what they
Don't let
started
nobody-
last year, man.
Don't let
I mean, I
nobody-
think he's in a good system that he feels comfortable. I mean, I think that's
Yeah.
really what it is with Baker.
Yeah,
I agree.
Browns fans are sick.
He wouldn't have been in at Cleveland. So
Oh no.
all right, number 15, up a spot. They won even though they won a game without an offensive touchdown. The Chicago Bears. Caleb
They
Williams.
only have him there because it's Caleb Williams.
Caleb Williams, bruh. All I gotta say to you, my man, is you need to take you a cot. You need to get you a laptop, and you need to go buy next door to a bathroom, and you just need to spend your entire day. Leave the door open when you go to the bathroom, everything, watching film. That's all I'm gonna say.
Living in that stadium like Kanye a couple years
Listen.
back at the Mercedes-Benz when he was working on that album.
Listen,
Watching film.
Caleb got a lot of other things on his mind, and I don't think football is one. And I believe that. All right. Next team.
He rolling. He in a Dwayne Wade camp. You know what I mean?
You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. We're gonna leave that where it's at.
Yes, ma'am. Don't want to get ourselves canceled, so yes, ma'am.
Right.
At 14, we got the Los Angeles Rams.
Bro.
All I want to say about the Rams, y'all say whatever y'all want to say. All I want to say about the Rams is do not draft Los Angeles Rams wide receivers, people.
Don't
Not do it. They are they're more fragile than CM Punk.
Y'all ain't learned that lesson last year. Oh, I'm just saying.
Puka wasn't like that last year. But that's okay. I learned a lesson now. Sometimes it takes some people more time, but I learned a lesson now.
I want to know how they moved up
receiver
a
at
spot.
Rams is your team? That's a good question. I ain't even gonna hold you, but that's a good question. New York Jets at 13, down 1 spot. Aaron Rodgers looked like a guy who hadn't played football in over a year, and as I refer to him now, is the Mushroom Man. The Mushroom Man. They didn't win, but the Mushroom Man made it through the game, so that's good for the Jets.
He made it through the game, but my man got pulled. Tyron Taylor came out there.
Do you know the Mushroom Man? That's all I want to know.
The Mushroom Man? The Mushroom Man.
That's what I call him. Do you know the Mushroom Man?
I think he need to
All
focus
right.
on his biopic and give it on up. Man is old now.
The mushrooms get a couple extra lives, though. The mushrooms, they get some extra powers.
Darkness.
Well, we hope
We can
so
feel
next
the
week.
power.
I don't know
in the
what was going
darkness.
on.
Darkness.
I don't know what was going on last week, but better get it together.
I know that's right. But the 49ers make a lot of teams look bad. They made us look bad last year, so
True.
there's that as well. Los Angeles Chargers are 12th. They're up 1 spot. They did exactly what we thought they would do. It was that they ran the ball. And then when they threw running the ball, they ran the ball some more. And then
that's what
after
you're
they ran the
supposed to
ball,
do.
they ran the ball some more.
That's what
But
you're
that's what
supposed
John
to do.
Harbaugh gonna do. Till you run him out of town, that's what he's gonna do.
That's what you're supposed to do. Run the ball. All this pass playing, no. NFL is running. I'm trying to tell y'all that's where it's at.
Yeah.
I mean, it takes a lot of pressure off of Herbert, which I mean he's been under for the past couple of years now. They've been making him force throws, and I mean everybody loves Justin Herbert though, and I mean I don't know how much that narrative is going to change if he's not throwing as much.
All I know is I didn't grab Herbert in fantasy, not because he got hurt last year, but because I understand what his coach wants to do.
Mm-hmm.
You know what his coach wants to do? It is not pass the ball. Feel me. All right. Green Bay Packers are at 11. They down 2 spots. Hey, we already talked about Green Bay, so we ain't gonna give them no more time. Their time is up. Our time is now. They can't see us.
Fact.
You know what I'm saying? I did
Yeah.
steal that from John
They're a
Cena.
good team, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're good. Yeah, they're good.
They're better
They're
than this
great, but
next
they're
team
good.
that's going to be up on the list for some reason above them.
Ha 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 ha. Cincinnati Bengals. Down 4 spots. Hey, there was nothing good in that game.
But you know
Nothing
why
good in
they
that game.
probably up there? Because that's how Cincinnati do. And then they'll get it together in like game 4 or 5, and then they'll win probably about 9, and then might go to the playoffs and lose the first playoff game.
Have another skid somewhere.
That's the pattern. That's the pattern. Except for that 1 year where they blew it in the Super Bowl.
But this might not
and
be
don't
the year.
forget-
You can't keep starting late though. And think
And
you're
don't
going
forget, it's
catch up.
hard to come out the AFC when you got to beat the referees and the Chiefs. You can't do that every year.
It's like clockwork.
Number 9, Miami Dolphins. They moved up 2 spots for the win.
They deserve
Yep.
it.
Mhm.
So shout out to them. Yeah, we talked to them. We talked about them as well. So they did their thing. No shade. All right, up 2 spots from last week. That football team in Arlington that calls themselves the Dallas Cowboys.
Man, listen.
Defense was really impressive. Offense, That's all I
Anyway,
have to say. What you got?
I'm next. On to the next one. I'm
not,
not
not much to say.
That all. We'll see next week.
Buffalo, right? Buffalo moved up 1 spot. I still don't see how they even.
I don't either.
Like they ain't got no type of. I don't know. I mean, Josh Allen may be much nicer than we've given him credit for, but this is his year to be able to prove that yeah or nay. Because wide receiver room is not strong. All
I
right,
don't know
number
how
6.
this dude makes it through full seasons. Like he out here playing reckless every week. Somehow win.
Yeah. We'll
Pretty
see what they
much.
do next week. They got Miami.
Ooh, yeah, that'll be a good game.
Mhm.
All right. Number 6, we got the Houston Texans. CJ Stroud, not the greatest game, but he did what was needed. Joe
Yeah.
Mixon ran the ball good for him too, so they get the third thistle.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had a couple of
It's all
elite
about
plays in
getting-
there, but it's week 1 though. They're gonna knock the rust
Yeah.
off and get back to where they were.
It's all about getting a win. All right, down 2 spots from last week. The Baltimore Ravens. 1 toe might have been the difference. There's been a lot of talk about the whole toe gate and all that, and his toe was on the line. It was. It sucked.
Yeah, it was on
but
the
it
line.
was.
But I mean, they couldn't get going, and Lamar was all over the place at the first half, and the run game was not going nowhere. So hopefully they can get it together because they could have beat
Lamar
the
running the ball 20-some times, and then the running back only running the ball 13 times. That's the problem.
Yeah. That's what I was gonna say. It's like you have to have some sort of plan when your original game plan is not working, other than just Lamar running. Like I understand it works sometimes, but you got to have some kind of backup plan. You went out there to get him some weapons, and you're not utilizing them.
But their defense didn't look that good. I mean, they did lose Patrick McQueen and a few others, so like that hurt him a little bit because they was running all over that defense.
There was. All right, number 4, our Philadelphia Eagles. We already talked about them. We moved up a spot, so that's what's up. Number 3, also moving up a spot, the Detroit Lions. They beat the Rams without Puka Nacua.
And overtime.
They'll be one of the better teams. Yeah, and it took overtime. They'll be one of the better teams, though.
Yeah,
they probably win the division because who's going to challenge them? I mean, I know Minnesota got to win, but let's be real. Stop it.
And Green Bay, who knows how long Love's going to be out for and what he's going to look like when he comes back.
Exactly. At number 2, staying the same as last week, San Francisco 49ers. Christian McCaffrey didn't play. Big ups, McCaffrey. You won me some leagues because I'm sitting there like, man, I'm up by 20 points. And McCaffrey, I got to go up against McCaffrey on Monday. Then
Same.
we get a message and it says, Christian McCaffrey's out. And then the dudes didn't even pick up Jordan Mason and put him in the game. They just
let him go.
let him
in the lineup. Same dude that I played as well did the same thing.
And then the dude gonna message me talking about how you're welcome for the win. I was like, bro, I left 2 of my better players on the bench by accident because the way I had the draft, certain people ended up like being put in, even though some better people were on the bench. So I was like, bro, you know who I was going to put in the game. Stop it. We should have been down by 50 anyway. So, but that tells you how much we care about San Francisco's keeping their same spot. And we know Patty Mayo and the Kansas City Chiefs are number one.
Of course.
That's not going to change.
Yeah.
That's not going to change. All right. So we got a couple of comments. I just wanted to get through that before we got to the comments. So Big D says facts about our earlier conversation. He says Williams was super bad. Definitely.
Mhm.
Smoke 14 YA says, y'all better get Jay Hurts in line or it's going to be another skid at the end of the season. And y'all got players, no doubt. I actually like the Zach Bond pickup. There's
Zach Bond, a
Smoke
beast.
14 YA
Flying
also
around.
says all the Rams wide receivers are injury prone.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'll say this to Smoke real quick. Smoke, I guess the best way to put it is that's why we went out and paid Saquon. Because if Hurts just, having some games but things ain't really working, turn around and give it to a workhorse. If you having games where it's clicking, spread the ball around. That's another dimension that you got to watch out for.
I just got one question. Why are Dallas fans be worried about our quarterback like they got the greatest quarterback on earth?
Hey, man, I don't even go into that. All I know is paying him $60 million. Thank you, Dallas.
Yeah.
And thank you, Dak, for doing it to Dallas. All right, Snowman, multimedia in the building. He says, hey to three of my favorites.
What's going on,
Fly
Snowman?
Eagles Fly.
Fly Eagles Fly.
Appreciate that, Snowman.
Mhm.
Snowman is an honorary Eagles fan when he's not a 49ers fan or a Colts fan.
How many named two more teams?
So Philly Eats says, yo, what up, Philly Eats?
Yo,
Appreciate you
what
back
it
in
do?
the building.
on?
We're getting some of the OGs back in the building now that football season started.
You know
what I'm saying? Like, I love it. Love to see it. Love to hear it. Y'all know where we at every week. So we're going to take another quick break, y'all. When we come back, we're going into that Falcons game. We got a couple of questions I posted to ask y'all, but then, we always give each other time. Say whatever you got to say after that. Say what you need to say. We'll be right back.
Everything Boston. I love you morons. New Kids from the Block, New Edition.
Dear whatever the law firm is. Sincerely, the U.S. Supreme Court.
Ben Affleck, Matt Damon. Go yourself again, Jason Whitlock.
Join the transporter to Hades.
Your butt and gut becomes one.
Join the reformer of hooker whores.
This is my daughter, Placenta Booty Johnson.
Join the bronze car.
Whenever you are in distress, take off your baseball cap and throw it in the air.
Join your very own superhero of broadcasting, Chris Bass.
So whatever color crayon they get, they palm it and do two circles, and that translates to, I can beat up black people.
As he takes you through the week's paces in Baseline. Live every Saturday at 8 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Central, Pacific Time Zone people, just stay asleep when this is on live and just catch the recording. Oh, I'm sorry. Exclusively on the Chris Bass YouTube channel. Poppy J.
You got the option to cry for the government. You got the option to protest. You got the option to keep buying, but this is also an option.
Wise El Jefe.
We're the first tech geeks. We're the first gamers. We're the first everything. Like Gen X's, we are the ones.
BS3 Network proudly presents the crew from the New York boroughs who never wants that smoke. Nah, they want that fire. Poppy J and Wise El Jefe. Fridays at 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central. Check it. Whether it's news, The largest egg producer finds bird flu in chickens at a Texas plant. Weather. Devastating tornadoes rip through the heart of the United States. Inspiration. A breast cancer survivor completed the journey of chemotherapy and now begins a future one of matrimony or sports. Michael Jordan is shown on a photo with Diddy. LeBron James has a video extolling the virtues of a Diddy party. This has been yet another Beating a Dead Horse presentation. We got you covered. BS3 Network proudly presents The Morning Shift with Cole Johnson. Live every weekday morning beginning April 29th at 8 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Central.
All right, y'all, we back in the building, and it's time. Got another game coming up, y'all. It's important. All games are important, but got to preview that week 2 game at home, second quote-unquote home game of the year. We ain't gonna go into that. Atlanta Falcons. So I put together a couple of questions because I love to get the answers sometimes from my guys. They be wilding, right? They be wilding. Y'all know they be wilding. So the questions that I want to ask. First, start here. Monday night, right? Monday night. 8:15 again? I think 8:15 or 8:31 of them.
Yeah, I think so.
Eastern time. The Atlanta Falcons travel Lincoln Financial Field to take on our Philadelphia Eagles. And we expect to win, but I'm going to tell you something that you may not know about this panel, as well as a lot of Eagles fans. We always expect to win. Like, we always expect, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's very few times that we walk up in saying, yeah, there's very few times we walk up in saying we expect to lose. There may be some times where we're like, I don't know, this game may be a little.
Now last year was a different story.
Exception. We had faith as long as we could. But there came a point where you just had to go ass right.
You can only make excuses for so long.
Yeah. All right. So, questions for my exonerable co-host as well as myself. Will the Atlanta Falcons be better against us than they were in week 1? What do you guys think?
No. As long as we get pressure on Kirk Cousins, and we know it's not a primetime game, because we know you get missing after 1 o'clock.
Missing at 1 o'clock this bad week.
I think we'll be all right. I mean, really, you just got to put pressure. As you see, he got pressured all last game and it was horrible. So he was like that when he was with the Commanders. So, I mean, really, you just got to pressure Kirk Cousins, get up in his face, make him uncomfortable. And as long as we take care of the ball on our end on the offensive end, this should be, this should be, I ain't gonna say a blowout, but we should at least score 30 points, over 30 points. Ease. Better be easy.
Somebody said we was gonna score 30 points last week, and we got scoffed.
No, they said 25. They ain't even give us 30. Somebody said
I'm saying we were saying 30, and they was trying to.
I said 40. You said 35. You was close. I was 10 points off. You was a point off. So.
Hey, I mean, me. It's a little luck involved. I'm not gonna act like it's not. It's always a little luck involved, right? It's always a little luck. What do you think about Atlanta in week 2? Will they be better?
It's going to be hard to fix the offensive line troubles in 1 week. I don't know if they have any pickups or anything like that, but yeah, I mean, it's going to be tough for them, especially going against the defense we have, especially some of the guys that didn't stick out last week. They're going to be coming out hungry, like Bryce Huff, Josh Sweat, and Milt Williams, what have you. I don't think it's going to get much better for them. I mean, over the past couple of years, we do have a tendency to make somewhat mediocre quarterbacks look really good, but this is a new day. There's a new era in Eagles defense with Vic Fangio. Hopefully they can turn this around. They look a hell of a lot different in week 1. So hopefully they're able to, keep some pressure on Kirk Cousins here and keep the middle of the field and, in the secondary clean, which I'm expecting them to, especially off of last week and also getting like Cooper DeJean more reps and everything like that. I don't know, man. I don't expect them to clean everything up in 1 week. I mean, it is Kirk Cousins we talking about. I think the only real threat you're going to have to worry about is Bijan Robinson there in the backfield there. I think as long as you stop the run, I think we Gucci.
So I think Atlanta will be better in week 2, but I think we'll also be better. So I don't think it'll negate itself.
Mm-hmm.
And as you both have said, I don't think it makes too much of a difference. So, do y'all believe that the Eagles can clean up the turnovers in week 2?
Yeah, I mean, Jalen just got to play smarter. Jurgens just got to make sure that, he's on point with the snaps. You know what I'm saying? That him and Jalen are on the same page. Because I know that one snap, Jalen was in his face. Like, look, I wouldn't. Because Jalen wasn't even looking when he snapped the ball. Like, I think he was still trying to read the defense.
Mm-hmm.
So I think as long as Jurgens is on point with his snaps and him and Jalen are on the same, they on the same looking eye to eye on that, and Jalen can make smarter plays and not force the ball when he don't need to force it. I mean, yeah, it's easy to clean that up.
Yeah, exactly. I think as long as Jalen takes what's given to him, as far as like what's out there on the field, we should be fine. Just don't try to play any hero ball or anything like that. Exactly what Diva said. Him and Jurgens need to be, practicing these snaps all week leading up to this game. You guys need to get as many reps as possible in here. Get Kelsey back up in that building, working with Jurgens, trying to figure this out. Maybe it was like just week 1 jitters. I don't know what it was. And I mean, field doesn't help, like I mentioned earlier, but that's stuff you can't, like, that's inexcusable as far as like the center is concerned, like bad snaps like that. But yeah, Jalen, I think he'll clean it up though going into this week and hopefully going forward as far as the turnovers go. Hopefully, Kellen Moore is a little stern, is a little stricter than Brian Robinson. Well, not Brian Robinson, the offensive coordinator from last year. What's his name? I don't forget his name already.
Brian Johnson.
Is
Johnson,
it?
Yeah. Johnson.
Brian Johnson, not Robinson. Brian Johnson.
Brian Johnson. Such a non-factor. I don't even remember his
guy.
name. That dude
that
from
guy.
last year. He wasn't as strict on Jalen because they were buddy. Hopefully, Kellen Moore's a little stricter with his offense and everything. Get that cleaned up. Tell him to just settle down in that pocket. Hopefully, let him run a little bit more like when he wants to. Don't just keep him in the pocket. That way he's taking sacks or has to throw it away. Let him get loose a little bit. Just not with the passing.
Yeah, let him make the comfortable plays that he feels comfortable with. Don't force him to do anything he's not comfortable with. Because you can tell when he's uncomfortable. Like he shows it all over his face and body emotion. They're like, oh yeah, Jalen's uncomfortable. Let's go after him.
Yeah.
Yeah, he'd be out there looking like, come on, man, stop that. Bro, stop that. Does he not though? Like, but
he really does.
I think we can. I think for Jalen, I know you want to make the throws because you hear the same things everybody hear about. You're not a thrower, you're not this, you're not that. Sometimes it's okay to make the clowns right as long as it's benefiting you. What I would like for Mr. Hurst to do is what we talked about earlier last game. You look at those reads and you see that everybody's covered. You pull that ball down, you find a hole, you get a few yards and get it down or get out of bounds. You did it a couple of times, but not enough. What that does is it opens up so much for this offense. It opens up the RPO. I almost said RPR like your old clan was doing last year, but yeah, it opens up the RPO. It opens up the short throw. It opens up play action. And it makes a spy have to be dedicated to you on top of trying to cover Saquon, the wide receivers, the tight end. It makes it more difficult on the other defense. Play smart. Like I said, the A.J. Brown turnover by itself is not a big deal, but when you add it to the bigger picture, it's a pattern. You know,
I mean,
when you know,
I know AJ was calling for it, but Dallas Goedert was open as well.
When does AJ not call for the ball? When does any wide receiver not named Devontae not call for the ball?
I mean, I know, but sometimes you gotta spread it. You gotta spread the ball a little more.
Right. You got to spread the ball. I agree. But that's me for the turnovers. That's my only concern with turnovers. So, will the Eagles' defense be more consistent in week 2? If y'all I go first on this one.
Oh, go ahead.
They better. They better. I get we play good the first half. We play good most of the game, but the inconsistencies, ball hits you in the hands, Nakobe. You got to catch that, my boy.
I was pick 6.
CJ,
He's taking it home.
Yeah, that's all the way to the crib. Nobody in the way. CJ, GJ, at least make the tackle. If you get beat on the play, at least make the tackle, my guy.
Well, he said he missed 2 tackles.
Yeah,
he did.
Flying by him like Superman.
Yeah, but at least make the tackle. I'm not gonna say that you make every tackle all the time, but make the tackles on those big plays. Just think, let me go ahead. Hey, the play's done, but let me stop this dude from getting a score. I like what Quinyon did on the one that he actually got the pass interference on, because he's about to take it to the house on Quinyon. You know what I'm saying? Quinyon, you ain't taking it to the house. You get this 15. So, pretty much that's me. I feel good about it. I think the defense will be a lot better. Another week, some game film to actually watch, a real live game film. I think they'll be better.
Yeah, I mean, I think they'll be better as well. There you go, D. The pass rush better eat. I better see some pass rush. I don't want to see no hurries. I want to see pass rushing. I want to see you get to Kirk Cousins and take him up out of here. Okay.
We'll give you a break because last week the field was very sloppy. It
was trashy.
Yeah. So we'll give you a break that week. But we come out and see that again.
Right. I better see Nolan and Josh Sweat getting up in there. I mean, all up in there. Okay, because Zach Bond was doing his thing. It better not just be Zach Bond getting sacks and tackles, and I want to see everybody else with that same kind of dog in them. This week coming,
wild man.
Yeah, he got dog in him.
Yeah, he was a wild man. I liked it.
He's an eagle because he got dog in him. That's how you're supposed to play. That's how we used to play back in our day. All right, that's what I need to see from everybody else.
I feel it.
Yeah, I mean, you guys pretty much hit the nail on the head. I think just another week, with film out there to actually watch, another week to kind of get more comfortable and adjusted to Vic Fangio's system because he has them moving around and doing different things so much throughout the course of a game. And you don't really have the opportunity as a cohesive unit through preseason and training camp. You're always switching out. So with week 1 in the books, hopefully they're getting a little bit more comfortable. You don't have a sloppy field to play on. So hopefully they're not missing assignments. Hopefully Maddox is looking somewhat like his older self in this one. We can't have him out here being picked on like last week. If so, you got to move back in the depth chart a little bit. Bring Cooper out here or something. Do something different. But I think they'll look a lot better here this week, especially against old primetime Kirk.
Yo, we be giving Kurt a lot of grief about primetime every year.
He deserves it.
I'm not saying he doesn't deserve it. I'm just saying we do. Yeah, I'm not saying he doesn't deserve it.
Dude get missing real fast.
So 2 more questions. I'm gonna go ahead and ask them both, and then of course, anything else you want to add on to that, feel free to. What are the Eagles' keys to victory? And can the Falcons D slow down Saquon?
Keys to victory is the pass rush, protect the ball, and no, they're not gonna be able to stop Saquon. That's just point blank period. Their defense is garbage, so he about to run all over them.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much the same thing. Just get home with the pass rush, put pressure on Kirk Cousins, keep that middle of the field cover like you were last week. Looked really good. Yeah, I mean, I don't think Kirk Cousins is going to be out here slicing and dicing on us or anything like that. So
we better pick Kirk Cousins off at least 3 times. You hear me? I want to see at least 3 picks.
You just don't want my fantasy team to get nothing this week, huh?
No, I'm sorry. That's all right, man. I ain't tell you to pick up Kirk.
But yeah, I mean, like Diva said, though, we got to just play turnover-free football. No fumbles, no interceptions. Jalen, you got to be on your best, in prime time this week.
For keys, I must say spreading the ball around on offense and controlling the clock. I think I like let me make sure AJ Brown get the ball. Let me make sure Smitty get the ball. Oh, I'd also like to see a Jahan Dotson sighting with the ball in his hands. That'd be
Me
nice.
too, and a little bit more Goddard.
Yeah.
Yeah. Njoku's probably gonna be out this week, so I'm gonna have to start Goddard. So yeah, more Goddard would be nice. This is a good game for it, right? Like the reason I picked up Goddard is because we play teams like the Falcons, and while I think the Falcons have a good defense, I don't think it's clicked yet, and we don't want to click this week. Defensively, I say my keys are closing up the gaps in the zone, right? Just making sure everyone has a better understanding of where to be. And now you see in game time situations, all right, I might come out and start at nickel, but I might end up playing some free safety, right? Might end up playing some outside cornerback. So be prepared, know those positions, and make sure that you're executing properly when you get moved around. They can't stop Saquon Barkley. I agree with that.
No, not at all.
I'll also say this is a statement game. This is like you see this in college all the time. You play a team that you should beat, and whether you put up big points or not, statistically, you go out there, you really give it to them. This should be 350 for Jalen Hurts. This should be 100 for Smitty. It should be at least 75 for Goddard. We should get a couple of catches for Dotson, right? This is a good game to, get your foot wet a little bit. AJ should get over 100 again. Saquon should be effective in the pass game and the run. This should be spreading the ball around. I don't care who's open. If you're open, you got on green jersey, I'm gonna hit you.
Right.
That's what I want to see. That's the if you have a thing to say about Hurts that he needs to fix, that would be the thing for me.
Mm-hmm.
Don't look at who it is. Just make the play.
Yeah.
I think that's what gets them is they know, when especially when you got AJ calling, they know he's gonna go to AJ, so they're gonna put extra coverage. So if you know they're gonna do that, that means you switch it up and you go to Dallas or you go to Dotson or you go to Gainwell or Saquon. I mean, so you got a lot of options to go to. Stop just zoning on one person. They see you zone on that person, so they're gonna go down there and put coverage down there. Like, come on, Jalen, you smarter than that, man. You gotta psych them out.
Yeah. You have so many options to go to. Why not use them?
Yeah, that's where I think the big change can happen for the Eagles. Is just spreading the ball around, and then, as you said, as Big D said, as I've heard on several shows, the pass rush. Jalen Carter tried to get in there a few times. Milt Williams getting there a few times. BG, when you in the game, because Vic Fangio said his press conference, he's not here for a last season tour. He on that field to play.
Yeah, he took more reps than Bryce Huff this last game.
Listen, they're gonna be
Bryce
running
Huff.
the ball. I need for
Bryce
y'all
Huff.
to not be 3 yards off. I need for y'all to get in there and stop the run. That means you need to be playing up close when you see they about to run.
Scheme. But that's the scheme. I don't know if the scheme, because it is that bend but don't break scheme.
Yeah, they looked really strong stopping the run for like the first half of week 1.
Yeah,
and then it just kind of went wayward in the second half.
They
were looking really strong for a
bit.
while. Yeah,
they have them sliding around and warm down.
Mm-hmm.
Any other thoughts, guys, before we
Fly Eagles fly. Hashtag be elite. Go Birds.
Oh, and Atlanta Falcons.
You already know.
Yeah,
we coming, and we're gonna be at the link for the first time since we had a sloppy season. It is going to be rocking. Kirk Cousins ain't gonna hear nothing. You hear me? That stadium is gonna be so loud, he ain't gonna be able to hear nothing.
Philly gonna be shaking. How loud that stadium is gonna be, especially if Saquon gets a touchdown, his first touchdown in Philly.
Lego.
That's gonna be nice.
Lego.
Tell 4 your friends.
2 your enemies.
Or who you think is your friends. And 4 people who may or may not like you. Just because they don't like you doesn't mean they won't like us. Oh, and by the way, it's never where you start. It's always where you finish.
Make sure you hit that like button on your way out, please.
Oh, and shout out 502 Angel Radio. We bop it on there as well. And with that being said, we out. We back next week. We do the thing. No intro, but we're going to hit you with the outro.
Bye.